Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Final Fantasy draft here on the channel. We're coming off of the heels of a sweet trophy, so let's try to keep the momentum going. We've opened up Choco, Seeker of Paradise. It is a very committal card, being 3 different colors, but it is quite powerful. So the weight is how likely is this card to make my deck versus how powerful is the card. And this card is relatively unlikely to make my deck because it requires me to be like green, white, splashing blue, or green, blue, splashing white, or I guess white, blue, splashing green, but that's the least likely option. But it does pay you off by being really strong, and when birds attack, that's quite good for you. There is also a counter spell, which is a very strong card, and there is also Adalbert Steiner, so 2 mana, 2/1 lifelink, and gets bigger with equipments. And then there is Chocobo Racetrack as well. I kind of want to just take the Adalbert Steiner or the counterspell. I think I'm going to take Adalbert. Choco is just a bit of a commitment at 3 colors, and I haven't seen many blue-green decks that are successful early on in the format. So I think Adalbert, totally fine card to play in any white deck because there's usually going to be a couple equipments, and then it's really good in some of the white decks. So that was the balancing mark there. Chocobo Racetrack was also a consideration, but it is a 5-drop, and so that was the choice there. Here, the follow-up to Adalbert Steiner, the best one is probably Magitech Infantry. I've been very impressed by this card. It's just going up and up and up for me. Second picking it is still a little bit higher than I'd like to, but I still like it. And then there's Vanille, which is very strong and good in any green deck, especially black-green. And X-Death, which is only good in black-green because you can only play it in black-green. But it is a great card. I would take Vanille over the Chocobo Kick, though this is a good kill spell. And I think I will take the Vanille. So, nice little start to the draft. If I was taking a white card, I would take the Magitech Infantry over Fate of the Suncrest. And then I think I go Vanille, Magitech, then the Chocobo Kick maybe. And now we immediately have a decision point here. There is Torgal, a Fine Hound, which plays fantastically with Vanille because you ramp into it, gets you a 4/3, plays well with Adalbert, also a human, and also is just like such a strong card that I almost always take it when I see it. And I don't think this will be an exception. The Crystals Chosen is also a great card. Takes over the game on its own. Plays great in the green-white deck it looks like we're building. But you only have room for so many 7-drops. And if you take 1/3 pick, like you see a good 7-drop later, you see another Crystals Chosen, you just have to take it. I mean, you can't really take it. And or even 6-drops. So like you can't play that many expensive cards. And Torgal, a Fine Hound is great. And I think fits into the, like, we can play that with Vanille. I oftentimes weight the signals that I'm getting later in packs more heavily. I mean, when I say often, I mean that's how I do it, because we opened the Adalbert, so we don't have any, I guess people call him Steiner, but we opened this, so we don't really know if it's a signal, but we got past the Vanille, so at least that's some indication. Now, pick 4, we have a close decision again. There's Chocobo Kick, which keeps me in green, keeps me flexible to going green-white. It's not looking like green-white is that open right now. I guess we did just see a Crystals Chosen get past, but there's not a good white card in the pack. There's Summon Choco Mog. There is, however, Sandworm, which is very strong in a green-red deck because it comes into play, triggers your landfall creatures in extra time by destroying your own land, getting a basic land tapped, and that's not nothing. But I think Chocobo Kick is the correct pick because I'm like still able to pivot around. I could be green plus anything, and Chocobo Kick is a great card. So I think Sandworm is great and will be great in a green-red deck, but Chocobo Kick is going to be great in a green-red deck as well, and this way I stay more flexible. Now pick 5. This is one of the benefits of staying flexible, is now there is White Auracite, one of my favorite white commons. There's also Windhurst Federation City, so green-white potentially looking open. The Auracite, the Windhurst, so those are both green-white cards. There's also Thief's Knife, which is for a blue deck, though blue-green seems like more of a late-game deck than a tempo deck that would use Thief's Knife to draw a card when you hit something. You can then equip it to things later. But I think overall the best pickup is just another Vanille. The card is really strong and worth taking, I think. So even though it's a legendary, I think having 2 copies of a legendary in limited, especially one that's powerful and you like easily dies, is not the end of the world. Okay, now we see this pack. Combat Tutorial is one of the best cards in this pack, And then White Mage's Staff is another good one. I don't love Blitzball Shot as a combat trick. Just +3/+3 and trample. It can do some stuff if you're an aggressive white like green deck, like a green-red deck is interested in this card, I think. But I'm not sure I'm even playing green-red. Titus is a good card, but blue-white is really far from where I'm at. I think White Mage's Staff is going to be my pick. It plays great with a lot of the cards I have. Plays great with Adalbert. Combat Tutorial would be nice, but I don't really need a value. Like this card plays really well when you have 2-drops. To play 2-drop Combat Tutorial, especially a defensive 2-drop. And we don't really have those yet. Okay, and now there's Sid, Timeless Artificer. So blue-white, we're seeing a couple of cards for that come around. There's also Magitech Infantry, relatively late, I would say. And other than that, like, we're not going to take Gigantode over Magitech Infantry, so I wonder how good Magitech is in green-white. Guess we can find out potentially. There's nothing else really calling to me in this pack other than Gigantode or maybe World Map, so we'll speculate. Now there's a blue-green land. There's a Gubu Gardener. I've not been impressed by the Gardener. It's been maybe okay, but nothing crazy. So I think we'll just take the Far Plane Gateway. Now we are seeing a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, but I think we're still just on the Gigantode. Just stick to our guns for now. We'll see if we wheel the Magitech Infantry. We do not. Not a huge surprise. We get a Undercity Dire Rat. As we wrap up this pack, all we know is that we're playing green. Another Dire Rat. I wouldn't mind trying Precious Wanderings, but if we get a couple of... We have some reason to get some more 2-drops, so I don't think white was that open. I do like the rat. Now a Q-Troop Forayer, so we're getting some nice black cards late here. Like, they're not great ones, but we're seeing black cards, so the person passing to us might not be playing black. So let's abandon these white cards for now. Probably not going to be playing the blue cards either. Pack 2. Captain Lannery Storm is a great rare, but we're not that close to being able to play that. Reno and Rude is fine. It plays well with a Undercity Dire Rats. We do have 2 of those. I don't like Cactuar. Moogles' Valor is pretty strong, I think. Adalbert and White Mage's Staff plus Moogles' Valor. Or like the random black cards I have. Let's just take the Moogles' Valor. I think it's way higher upside than Reno and Rude. And maybe white could be open this pack. Based on the fact that we didn't pass a lot of white in pack 1. Now there's Memories Returning. So a bit of a card that would be like a blue-green draw spell. Ishgard the Holy Sea. Return some artifacts and enchantments from your graveyard to your hand. Wall of Omens. So we're seeing a little bit of white here. And then Vane's Treachery if I wanted to just stick to the black. We did get a lot of black role players late, which is one of the reasons I kind of want to just go into black and take the Vane's Treachery here. Like, it might lead to a worse pack too, but we can probably just muddle our way through and then... Yeah. What? Why is Buster Sword in the pack? This card always, like, read out to me as being insane. So 3 mana, and then 2 mana to equip, and then any of your creatures just turns into, like, an absolute monster. Plays great with some trampling. Plays great with just small creatures that can buy you time. Anything that, like, makes your deck go to, like, a late-game scenario. This card's great. Balthier and Fran has been really annoying against me just because it's giant and has reach. And then Geisel Greens would be fine as well as a 2/2 that can flash back later if I have some self-mill. Or just on its own. Huh. Buster Sword, I do want to try it. I think the card's fantastic, so we'll get some experience with it to see for sure. Now Summon Anima, really strong late game card for this deck. We're not seeing a lot of green, which is really weird because we didn't pass really any green. We took the Vanilles very aggressively, the Torgal, the Chocobo kick. So the person next to us ending up in green would be really kind of odd, but it happens because sometimes people open up a crazy rare and they want to play it or things like that. But Summon Anima is a great card. You draw a card, draw a card, draw a card, and then each opponent loses 3 life and sacks a creature. So huge amount of value, and it's a big body. Marlborough is also a nice little value, 6-drop. But I like getting a Summon Anima. It's good to see one. And now there is Resentful Revelation. I like having 1 copy of this in my black-green decks. Gives you a nice little late-game buyout of something to do with your mana. If we took Trano, we could try to splash blue, but there's nothing we really want to splash blue for right now, and so we're happier getting Resentful Revelation over something like Precious Wanderings. I think this card's much better at its best in red-green, and then 1 Bard's Bow would be totally fine, but I think we'll get the Resentful Revelation. Now there's Black Mage's Rod as a 2/1 creature for 2 that then gives us stuff to sacrifice for the purposes of Vane's Treachery. And then there's Airship Crash, which I've not been that impressed by, though. I think it has some potential. And there's World Map. I'm going to take the World Map, keep myself a tiny bit flexible, though I don't really foresee myself playing it. And then we're going to take Grand Pulse Ochu. I love this card. It's fantastic. Really nice little early game creature. Don't like Poison the Waters, though. We'll take Lunatic Pandora, I guess. I think this card's pretty bad. Maybe I take it just to try it. Get the confirmation out. Now, Shinra Reinforcements can be a good card for black-green. Depends on how much graveyard stuff I end up with. We'll take the Ultimacia. That is a card you can splash, though I don't really want to. Lionheart's also interesting because it's not even close to as good as Buster Sword, but it provides a similar effect, and so having 2 copies of it can be, I think, better than taking Fight On. I don't love Fight On as a card. So this one, they both kind of want you to have small creatures. We get the Fight On anyway. So a card like Undercity Dire Rat is really nice because like it falls off, so it doesn't like scale as well with the game. But when you have a couple of equipments to make it a 4/3 or a 5/4, it makes it look a lot better. Another Choco. Reno and Rude is unironically one of the cards that plays best with the equipments I have, so I will take it here. Because it has Menace, so it makes it harder to block, and then so when they do double block it, it's bigger, so it can kill both things that block it. Ride the Shapoof is fine. Shinra Reinforcements might wheel. I'm not happy to play 3 Q-Troop 4 rares. There's some cards where you're like the first copy you can usually get some utility out of. So like 1 Q-Troop 4 rare is probably fine. 1 Shinra Reinforcements is usually fine. 1 Gigantode is usually like a fine place to be. And in this pack, I just need to make it like 7 more playables. Hopefully I can pick up a land to make my mana more consistent, but I do think Reno and Root is a good pickup for me. I could have had a second one, but that is one of the legendaries that kind of falls off a little. Okay, now I get a second Summon Anima. Another nice top-end card. I would be happy playing Instant Ramen in this deck. It's good with Vanille. It's not the greatest card for me, but it is a reasonable one. Arimon's also a fine one. Plays well with Undercity Rat, because you can sack the rat, you sack the treasure. I really like Garland, but we're nowhere near playing red here. We're going to just stick to our black-green deck, get another Summon Anima. Really good top-end card. Makes me want some life gain in the deck, but also makes me want to lean aggressive, and this deck does lean a little bit more aggressive. Ooh, baby. Cloud of Darkness is fantastic. A third Summon Anima, it starts to get a little bit more dicey, because it is a 6-drop. Rydia's Return is fantastic. I love this card. I really have been enjoying playing it. My creature count is pretty high. I've got 12 creatures. But I think this card's fantastic. Cloud of Darkness is like one of the best possible cards I could see here. Now there's Ninja Blades, Geisol Greens, and Heck Dies. I've been pretty impressed by Ninja Blades, though I think it might just be worse than playing like a Heck Dies. Geisol Greens is also nice. I'm just going to take the Ninja Blades, keep the equipment theme rolling. Give myself a little bit of extra value from there. Now I will take the instant ramen. I do think the card's good. Give myself the option to get it back with a Vanille. Now I'll take the Heck Dies or the Marlboro. I will take Marlboro. I have a pretty good low curve. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 early game plays. And Marlboro can be cycled in a pinch. I like seeing Side Quest Hunt the Mark. I think this card's pretty strong. I think it's better than Chocobo Kick. Late red cards coming around. I think at this point I am shifting my evaluation to red being the weakest color. But it's not by any crazy margin or anything like that. Shinra Reinforcements did wheel. I don't know if I want to play it though. Arimon came back. There's also another instant ramen. I think one instant ramen is the sweet spot. Undercity Dire Rat came back. Nice. The Namazu Trader would be fine, but we already have reasonable 4-drops, and so just getting another 2-drop is good. I'm feeling really glad about that. I took some of the higher end, top end cards. Adventurer's Airship honestly seems okay in this deck. It's not great with equipment though. You don't really want, like, you want to have some way to turn your small creatures into relevant threats, and Adventurer's Airship doesn't really do that. I'm actually pretty happy. The Geisol Greens pick was interesting. I think Ninja Blades is going to be good though. Again, just keeping my small creatures relevant. I have a lot of ways to do that. Arimon, Reno and Rude. With 2 Vanilles, I really don't need Fight On, I don't think. Shinra Reinforcements if I want it. I think 1 Shinra Reinforcements is fine. Now let's do the build. Okay. Definitely bias a little bit towards black. So Torgal, Ochu, definitely good ones. Gigantode, probably not as necessary. Then 1 Shinra Reinforcements, 1 Q Troop Warrior. I like to split. I don't want the Adventurer's Airship, that's for sure. I am a little bit light on removal spells. I've got this as a removal spell. I've got Q Troop is kind of a little bit. Chocobo Kick, Vane's Treachery, and Cloud of Darkness. So, worth keeping in mind as well. I really have not been impressed by Fight On. My graveyard synergies for this card are Cloud of Darkness, 2 Vanilles, and 1 Resentful Revelation to wheel, so I don't think I'm in the market for more than 1. My human count is pretty reasonable, right? 4 humans. Yeah, so Torgal can do some stuff there. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good build. I'm excited to see it in action. I'll see you in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the people who support my channel over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you've been enjoying my videos, if you've been finding them helpful or educational or entertaining, or hopefully some combination of those, then Patreon is a way to give back to the channel and help me make more videos in the future while gaining access to my card-by-card tier list, my format thoughts document, and other cool rewards. I would like to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It makes a huge difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round 1. We're going to keep this opening hand, obviously. 2 drops, not the best of our equipments, but it is still a reasonable one to keep our Undercity Dire Rats very relevant in this game. Playing against black-white. Black-white should have plenty of small creatures that this can take down eventually. Okay. Dire Rat down. I'm not sure what to think about this card. I don't love it because it doesn't scale that well with the game. Like, on turn 3 is the best time to play it, obviously. You usually nab something, but there's plenty of cards that like come with a 1/1 token. There's like other cards that make the wizard tokens. If it was sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice, if it forced them to somehow, that'd be better, I think. But I've generally been happy not playing it. Okay. Sure. We're going to save the Lionheart. We don't have anything else to do with our mana. It's unfortunate because we could like cast something pretty big here with our 2 treasures. This is where a card like Summon Anima does work. Yeah, we'll kill that guy. I mean, this game's just plain old unfortunate. We've literally drawn a land every single draw step, I think. Unless we drew Rat on turn 1. And, like, that's just going to happen some percentage of games, but it does mean that we're not getting a real accurate sense of our deck, because we could have killed the Sephiroth if we just had any creature to use a Chocobo Kick with. But we just haven't drawn them. Wait, they're not sacrificing one of their 0/1s? That's kind of wild. They must be sitting on a pile of removal over there. They could have attacked me because this thing gives +1/+0. This card was also glitched yesterday and just like stuck around in play. Yeah, that's game. Okay. I guess it's not quite game. It's just mostly game. I don't think I can actually kill them before I die to just random 1/2s attacking me. This was a brutal one, but you just have to take a deep breath and be like, okay, I basically just clicked the start game button and then immediately lost a game where I had no agency or control over anything. So, and then you just move on to the next game because that's Magic, baby. But I couldn't have done anything differently this game, really. I could have, I guess, not used Lionheart on a 0/1 or something. Why are they not sacrificing these guys? I guess they have non-creature spells to cast. Regardless, this game is over. Like, they didn't use White Mage's Staff, so. Yep. Okay. That's fair. We lost the game, but we'll be back next round. Welcome to round 2. We have a good hand. We have our little buyout clause with the flashback on this thing. I love having 1 copy of this card. It also fills our graveyard. When you would like to play your creatures first, though, because if they don't have a creature, you get in for some damage. We don't have any tap lands, but we will take the land. We just need to hit some land drops here. And if we are missing out on like a Veins Treachery, but that's fine. Wow, is this like the new thing that I missed out on? Like everyone's just playing like cornered by black mages all the time? We will take the land. This thing can take out something small. It's a good card. This thing's going to flip because we already have a treasure, so that's really good. So this card has to die pretty much. It doesn't, like, it just attacks. It gives any attacker double strike, and it's definitely a reasonable thing to use kill spells on. 1, 2, 3 permanents in the graveyard. Now if we kill something else. So, and we already have a treasure from the rat, so this card's really good in our deck. Also, I am streaming this live on Twitch, so if I do answer a question or something like that, I'll make sure I, like, keep it obvious what I'm talking about. But it is something that I will be referring to if there is a pertinent comment. And yeah, you can join in the fun live yourself sometime. Okay. Do I want to flip this now? Or would I rather play Marlboro? Let's flip it now. Because this thing's way bigger than Marlboro. Okay. It's fair. So now this thing's going to be hard for them to deal with. I stand corrected. It was very easy for them to deal with instantly. I guess I should have done this in the other order. Okay. They only had one creature in their graveyard. That's wild. Sure. So I want to leave them with no creatures. That was the logic behind this. Because I felt like they're going to be in much weaker shape if they have nothing to work with. So I could have killed that and then had my Reno and Rude still around. So you can do this and just like reset a land so you can buy it back. It's like basically a 1-mana kill spell in the mid game. The card's really good. I have plenty of 2-drops I could draw, so we'll play this now. Welcome to the stream, Asteroid Down and Snowgo. Welcome, welcome. Boom, we got the win. That was the bounce back we needed. We had a really rough first game, but our deck is still quite powerful, and we still have plenty of good things to do. So I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 3. We'll keep this hand. I think we could go with more of a graveyard focus in this deck and play the second Shinra. It makes a lot of our cards a little bit better. Undercity Dire Rat, beautiful. What a time to draw that. That was perfect timing. It plays really well with Ahriman. We're playing against a lot of green decks. Just play out our guys. Okay. This is why we played our Death Touch creature. We don't want to waste our mana here. The Summon Cho'Gath will die of its own accord shortly. It only gets 2 attacks in. I'm willing to take 6 damage. Okay. I'll sack the treasure to my Ahriman. It's not good. This is a close game. Because now they won't be all +1/+1. Ultima, okay. So I think we're dead here. Because Reno can buff up the creatures. But they don't see it. That's good for me. Close game here. Yep, they got me. Okay. Unfortunate. I am going to make the changes to the deck, though. Because I think I do need a little bit more graveyard action, so one more Shinra would be better than one more Q-Troop. Also, high toughness guys play better with my equipment anyway. Not that it would have mattered that game, but I will do that one change. And I think that makes my deck a little bit better. Anyway, see you next round. Welcome to round 4. Backs to the wall. We're 1 and 2, but We are battling, and we have Torgal to start things off, which is just what we want. Torgal into Vanille into Buster Sword is a pretty good kickoff. Ah, Grixis, nice. And, like, I don't think our deck is weak by any means. Okay. Beautiful. It's greedy to take Cloud of Darkness, but we're going to do it. Because if we hit a land, we can just use it to kill Queen Brane. No blocks. And if not, we can cycle Maul Burrow and use Vayne's Treachery on it. Okay. We do hit the land. So that works out really well for us. Buster Sword's going to be crazy if they just tap out here. Garland, okay. Shantoto, okay. I can literally cast any of them. I'm going to start with the side quest, Hunt the Mark, I think. Prevent Shantoto from doing anything too crazy. Oftentimes when you're ahead, you just want to play a denial game. Prevent your opponent from doing anything too crazy. This also leaves me with Vayne's Treachery up, I guess. Yep, we'll just do this. We'll take their last card. Boom. Buster Sword is great with Cloud of Darkness. On a random ground creature, it's worse. My deck doesn't have the best tools to use it. Let's double check that we don't. I mean, they'll just have to be chump blocking all the time, the ground creatures. It's not that expensive to equip it, too. It's more about getting that first hit in. It's so good with Cloud of Darkness. I do not have any other evasive creatures I could play, except this, but you don't want to have to re-equip every turn. I have Ahriman, so it's a good card with that, too. Yeah. I think the Lionheart has been a bit weak as a card in my deck. So maybe I'd rather play, like, Gigantode over it. But I want to get another, like, experience putting it into play, because I feel like I've had it in spots where there wasn't anything to kill. And, like, in mid-games, you can find something to kill with it. So maybe it's a little bit better, but I'll play one more game with it, like, when I draw it, and then we'll see how it feels. But see you next round. Welcome to the 5th round. We'll keep this. This is our round to try and get to at least a 50-50 win rate. This is a pretty good hand. I think Lionheart looks really good in this hand. Like, it'll keep this thing relevant. And it's something I can sack to Ahriman. I don't know. We'll see if it would have been better as a Gigantode. They're on a mold of 5, so Even though I'm a little color screwed, I feel confident in my ability to win this game. Okay, there's Forest. Nice. Marlborough, sure. Yep. Reno and Rude, sure. Next turn, Lionheart takes out Reno and Rude. Seems okay to me, and then I have like a reasonable equipment going around. We want this game to go longer because we have all these extra cards to use, and this thing takes our life total down, so we don't need to trade damage here. So they can take Summon Anima if they want, which they will. Makes sense. We'll take the Summon Anima. We have other kill spells in the deck, but I think having our own card advantage will be important. Dig for a land. Okay, we will not take the land. We're trying to play this and equip it on in the same turn onto the Ahriman. Though I guess maybe we should have equipped the Lionheart, but then we couldn't have attacked with our guy. Diamond weapon, sure. And all combat damage. Chocobo, sure. Summon Fat Chocobo. So now we have an answer to this guy. Let's just double check this. Prevent all combat damage. Yeah. Boom. Got the win. That's a big one. Getting to 3 wins, this feels like a moral victory for me. It's always like, okay, we've made it to 50%. Now let's make some progress. And we shall do just that. Hopefully we can get into Platinum 1. And I'll see you next game. Welcome to another game. We're going to keep this. Remember, this Marlborough can be a swamp if we need it to be. Another green-black deck. Lead with our Torgal. Sultai. Interesting. Not in the market for killing this for no reason. We can just trade our Dire Rat for it. And I guess we'll take the value when we can get it. They were clearly afraid. Ramping up to a Marlborough. Sacrifice one of the rats. But we will see if they want to play a kill spell first or something. So it looks like they're splashing black for something. Oh, this card's messed up. Okay. Our Arimon's going to start drawing us our cards with these treasures. Summon Fat Chocobo, sure. They only get one more attack in with the Chocobo. Let's draw a spell here. Cannot re-equip because our guy will die. They have 7, 11, 14, 15 power in play. Oh, well, that's horrific for me. That is truly bad. Chocobo dies. Now I'm going to hold this land for sure so my ninjas thing can stay useful. Gosh darn it. The Chocobo is a problem. Yep, I'm dead. Honestly, Summon Fat Chocobo has been pretty impressive against me. Gotta be honest. I think I need to start being more aggressive with my trades against it. To be fair, I have had a bit of a lackluster draw down the stretch here. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 spells this game. So, like, the 10 spell, 10 land split is not ideal. And it might look like my opponent's drawn plenty of lands too, that they have 5. 10, they've got 10 lands as well. They've drawn a lot more cards than me, though. And they played 2 town greeters, so. Okay. Block there. Block there, block there, block there. I'm dead on board. If they didn't have a second Summon Fat Chocobo, I could have had that one. Honestly, 3 and 3 is not the end of the world. You have those drafts where you don't make progress, but you don't really lose ground either, and that just happened to be one of these ones. Our first game, complete nightmare, obviously. We just didn't draw any spells the entire game. We only drew the Buster Sword, though. Actually, we drew Buster Sword twice. We won both games where we drew the Buster Sword, so that's worth noting. And overall, our deck had plenty of good cards in it. It's just that, like, the games where we drew like one of our top end cards, our Cloud of Darkness, our Summon Anima, our Buster Sword, like one of these expensive cards, we tended to be pretty fine. But we had a few games where we would just draw like all these little lower end cards. I think Lionheart, it was good to get some testing on. The card was fine. Nothing crazy, but nothing terrible either. And overall, I think the deck was totally solid. 3 and 3, not the worst record, especially considering that, I mean, one of our losses, no deck could have possibly won with that particular draw, and a lot of our losses were a little bit like just the way the draws work when you draw most of your lands before your opponent does. So that's how it goes, and you can't win them all, but I think this deck was pretty sweet. And if you made it to the end, leave hashtag sword in the comment section down below to let me know you made it to the end, because we had 3 equipments and all of them were pretty reasonable, trying to keep us alive and things like that. That's going to do it for this video, though. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.